Have you noticed that some of the most creative breakthroughs in your life have come as a result of your limitations or what you thought was a setback? What if you could use this principle to push yourself to find a breakthrough creatively that would also lead you to new spiritual growth? This is what I want to talk about today and give you some ideas on how you could boost your creativity by practicing Lent. Welcome. I'm Joel Pelsu, president of Arts and Entertainment Ministries. We mentor artists and creative professionals to succeed creatively and grow spiritually. And if God has called you into a creative career, you need to know one thing. You are not alone. We have videos, blogs, online courses created just for you. We've been doing this for over 25 years. You can find those in the links down below and find those resources also on our website. And why do we do this? We do this to encourage and equip you so you have confidence working as a Christian in the art world, in media, or the entertainment industry. Whether you live in a small market, you work remotely, or if you work in a major market like right here in LA or New York or somewhere else around the world, we're here for you. Now, before we jump in, I want to thank you for taking the time to watch this video and ask one favor. You know what to do. Please take 1 second, hit the like button, and subscribe to our channel. Helps other people to find this content. It really does make a difference. Maybe you thought you've heard all the creativity boosters out there, but this is a new one. And it sounds counterintuitive because Lent is about giving something up. But it just might open up new ideas and approaches to your art. You see, sometimes our creativity needs a new approach. And Lent can provide just that boost by embracing a tradition from our church calendar. The story behind Lent really begins with Ash Wednesday on the church calendar, and it lasts for 40 days. And it's an opportunity for us to identify with Christ and his 40 days in the desert. Now, you don't need to go wander in the desert and fast from all food, but many people take 40 days to fast in various ways. Some people fast from alcohol, others fast from sugar and sweets, and others may fast even from caffeine. In recent years, I've heard people fasting from Facebook, Netflix, or social media in general, or maybe the news. And that alone will probably help boost your spiritual life quite a bit. But I want to look at some specific ways to boost your creativity. The principle here has to do with limits and creativity. And we've taught on this for years, my wife and I. It resonates deeply with the season of Lent, where new perspectives and a sense of freedom are found often through limits, boundaries, and restrictions. Now, we have a blog on this topic, which I'll place a link down below if you want to read further. But we see illustrations of this in the work of many artists. Classically, Igor Stravinsky passionately believed that there is no freedom without boundaries. Peter Gabriel said in a recent documentary, one of the worst things to do for an artist is give them complete freedom. Every form of art has a structure or perspective that implies and embodies restrictions. Try to play music without a scale or a chord progression. Those restrictions give you direction and open up other possibilities. Try to write a story without a plot or create a building without a strong foundation. You see, some restrictions are necessary to even create anything. But here's the point. You're already using principles to guide your work and limit your options. Every creative choice you make eliminates other opportunities that are now gone. It's part of the process. And here's the beauty to Lent. As you restrict some of your choices in your art, your mind will search out new ways to express your creative impulses. In the same way as you restrict some of your opportunities in your everyday life, you can find a new freedom through letting go of old assumptions and expectations. And at the heart of this is the idea to identify with Jesus, who started his ministry by fasting for 40 days. He gave up what seemed essential, food, in order to focus on what was actually essential, which is his relationship with his Father. Jesus had already given up so much to become human, and now he gave up eating for 40 days. It's astonishing to consider what he went through to make sure his priorities were focused on the right thing. And fasting for 40 days is incredibly powerful to do this. And here's the point. Lent is good for your soul. It helps you let go of things you have come to depend on way too much. So take time to grieve over sin in the world during Lent. Take time to grieve over your own brokenness and the brokenness of those around you. And consider giving up something this season to help you listen better to the Father's voice. But even more than that, I want to challenge you to connect this Lenten fasting with a sort of creative fasting. It's probably a new idea, but hear me out. I'm challenging you to consider self-imposed limits on your creative craft. There are a million possibilities, but here are a few ideas I wanted to give to you. Musicians may look to Peter Gabriel. He challenged his drummers by insisting they not use any hi-hats or cymbals on the entire album of So, which sold 5 million copies, his most popular album. This created a cleaner sound and pushed the drummers to be more creative with the rest of the resources they had. Visual artists may look at, there's so many examples, maybe Pablo Picasso changed the art world by forcing himself to look at the forms in a very different way. And physical objects in a new light. Whatever your craft, find a way to approach it without something you've always taken for granted. So how do we do this? First, I want you to do is pick a book of the Bible to read during these 40 days. It doesn't have to be long, but take time to consider what Christ went through to discipline his body and to focus on his spiritual life. Take time to read, pray, and journal about what you're learning in Scripture. Then, take time to think how you can apply the spiritual principles of Lent to your creative life. A simple overarching question to keep before you is this: how can I learn to love God with all my heart and with all my creativity? Here are some specific examples for different artists. Musicians. What you can do is limit your choices. Tell yourself you're not going to use a particular chord progression you tend to use. Don't go to 1-4-5. Don't resolve it the same way. Add some flat 13s, some jazzier chords, whatever it is. Force yourself to get where you're trying to go in a different way. Limit yourself. Maybe switch up even the music you're listening to for inspiration. Go back to Gregorian chants or something interesting you don't usually listen to. Visual artists. Take certain paints and colors out of your studio for 40 days. The 2 or 3 you love the most, just take them out. Change the ways in which you look for inspiration and try something new. Or maybe don't use certain brushstrokes or certain media if you do mixed media, or certain concepts you have always focused on. Force yourself to go somewhere else. Dancers, you may avoid a particular set of moves that you always go to, or that certain choreography that you tend to fall into over and over, and change up the music you use to inspire you. Stop using certain props or clothing styles you've preferred. Any of those things. Writers, stop using a particular technique to push the story forward. Don't keep looking for a bigger obstacle. Maybe try a different kind of villain, a different kind of hurdle, a different internal arc in the characters you're working with. Change up the literature you read for inspiration at this time too. Try writing with a new partner. Do something to force yourself to get out of the old habits. Actors, maybe stop some choice you typically make to get the laugh, the cry, or the applause. Try a different way to do it. Change up who you practice lines with, or try studying actors you usually don't study. Naturally, I can't cover all artist styles and genres. If your art does not fit one of the examples above, take a few minutes and get creative yourself. Write down your own Lenten practices to push yourself. Read a book of the Bible, praying, and ask God to help you grow in a new way this season. Second, choose a theme in the Bible to inspire your artwork for the next 40 days. Then, choose a habit, a tool, or resource you rely on and eliminate it for 40 days. And as you do this, I want to ask you one favor. Can you share down below how are you going to push yourself creatively and spiritually during this Lenten season? What everyday things will you give up to draw closer to Christ spiritually? And what will you give up to inspire yourself more creatively in this season? God doesn't want you to become stale in your spiritual life or your creative life. That is the worst. Christ was willing to endure the discomfort of fasting in order to discipline his body and to focus in on what mattered most, his relationship with his Father. And if Christ could benefit from such measures, how much more might you and I benefit? Imitating Christ in this manner can be a wonderful new discipline. If you've never done it before, it will bring an increased sense of purpose during these days, as well as a greater sense of joy when we finally celebrate Easter, or Resurrection Sunday, as we prefer to call it now. It will give you so much more joy when you come and you celebrate He is risen after you've been fasting and taking things a different way and experiencing those limitations like Christ did. My prayer is that God will draw you near to His side as you take time to identify with Christ, and He will inspire you both creatively and spiritually. As always, thank you for taking time to watch this video. Again, please take a moment, hit the like button, and subscribe. Check the links below to subscribe for emails, go to our website, learn about our online courses, and don't forget to give me your comments about what you will do for Lent to boost your creativity and draw closer to Christ. Everything is for Christ. We say we want to love Him with our heart, mind, soul, and strength and creativity. That's what we want to do. God bless.